So, like, what made you want to come to the meeting that I was having, community meeting I was having? Like, what was your like drive to do that?
Yeah, so my passion, my drive for me to do that was that I was already attending local meetings already in the neighborhood, going around meeting the president of the community association. That was one of our jobs, being a part of the Baltimore City Youth Commission, is that you had to attend community association meetings. So for me to go around and actually meet some of those presidents, and then me they also, of course, come to you, which was a key difference maker for us here today, was a great experience, and it really inspired me, especially the conversation that me and you had, which is different from other conversations, of course, now speaking. And I'm grateful for it, and I'm glad I had the opportunity for me and you to connect.
But now that's funny as you said that, because now I'm thinking like when we first started, and you came to me, I actually started asking you a question though, because I was just like, oh, okay, you really want to do some good work.
Yeah.
I was like, but, ain't nobody gonna give it to you for free.
No.
So why don't you come and, let me mentor you, and let's see where this go at, because I didn't know you.
You're right.
But it wasn't like I wasn't gonna put time into, I'm put time into whoever comes to me. But then you started coming to them meetings every other Friday or Friday?
Yeah, every Friday.
Every Friday. All right, so it was like every Friday we did something, but then every other Friday we locked into the business stuff.
Right.
But every Friday we would come and we would go over something.
Right, exactly.
And I think that started to impress me, because I said I chose Friday for a reason, because I was like, well, he young, he a teenager. I'm gonna choose something that's that he always doing something a lot. Right. And I said, we're gonna do it Friday.
Yeah.
And I said, we'll see whether or not he gonna do it. And you came. And I was shocked. I was like, oh man, this dude keep coming. And we started going over business plans. We started going over SWOT reports. We started going over leadership. Financial statements. We went over all kinds of stuff, taxes and financial literacy. It's just, and you came and you started learning, and that's what kind of drove me into realizing like, oh wow, this dude really do want to do this, and that's what made me start to say, you know what, I think I'm gonna go ahead and work with him. And that's what kind of created me to say, I need to change things on how I'm doing stuff, because I was doing stuff, but at the same time, I could be better.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the only way for me to be better is to open myself up to be able to work with somebody that's younger, that has so many more visions and views, and allow that to actually flourish and move forward with that. And I think that's when I came to you and was just like, look, it's been a couple years now of me mentoring you, so it's time for you to really make your vision run and make your vision fly. And that's what made me say, all right, let's rock. Let's do this Young Successful Leaders thing. And we changed the name from the Carter Foundation to Young Successful Leaders INC, and we started moving forward with structure and putting things in place with the mission and vision and everything else. So, all right, I got you on that. That was pretty good. Yeah. What do you think about me though? I mean, like what do you think, so I got a question also.
Okay.
From when you first started to now, what do you think that you've learned? Like how have these experiences like really changed you?
Yeah, so I want to speak about consistency, like you said with those meetings, and I know that we're doing a good job at instilling our young people that we're serving. It's consistent. It's always about showing up and always being on time. Time management is very important, especially when you're getting it, when someone else is giving it to you or you're giving it to someone else. It goes both ways. But really just answering the question is just that instilling the work. I mean, leadership, I gained a lot of leadership skills, how to manage people. I've learned a lot in this nonprofit space that I didn't know that was there. It's a lot of ins and outs to it. It's a lot of relationship building that you have to do. Absolutely. And it's a different work you have to do as well. It's not just a regular 9-to-5 job. It's a lot to it, especially when you're the head chief of it and running operations and managing a team.
Absolutely. So I'm thinking now, and I think about this because you just mentioned something. You said when I'm the head chief of it, right?
Yeah.
But you being the head chief of it, certain businesses go through growth spurts,
Right.
and they go through changes.
Right.
Now, with you being a new organization, I think you might have had changes at the beginning of your organization when you first started,
Yeah.
and it gave you the ability to really start to see things, I guess, differently. So when you were having changes in your company at the beginning, like what did that do? Like what made you, like, how did you get through that?
Yeah, well, I mean, perseverance, and also going, even coming to you and having certain conversations with me and you, definitely build upon that and help me become a better leader. I know day to day I'm just always looking to grow and looking to the next opportunity that comes far away, and just always continue looking to grow and having that mindset is always wanting more. I want more for myself, want more for my team, and of course want more for YSL.
Okay. I mean, that's cool. I mean, and that's why I asked you, because I know, so what kind of advice would you give people if they just starting with Wise, like a company of their own?
Yeah.
Like since you first started to now, like how could you encourage a young person to do that?
To start their own business, or just to? So encouraging a person to start their own business, I would just say, once again, always encourage young people to find a mentor, because that's something I didn't have growing up. I didn't have someone to go to talk about things and talk about what I wanted to do, maybe when I got older, or how to help me start this business. Just like giving in those life skill sets, which we do in YSL. So that's something, that's the feedback I would give to them. Encourage them to find someone that's like that can really help them get to that next level and see them grow, and want to see them grow as well. And find that right individual that can do that, provide those with those resources too as well. I think it's very important, especially in any type of business that you run. And giving yourself grace too is a lot of things I've learned too as well in this experience. I feel like a lot of times we're hard on ourselves because we really, really want that grind, that grit and grind, and we want that finances. And we want to be wealthy, which is always a great mindset to have, of course. We definitely want that, but just give yourself grace, get some key wins. I know myself, and even with YSL, we have those little wins, but those little wins have led us to much, much more success with the organization.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Let me see. Anything you got for me though? I'm just curious. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I mean, I'm just, I'm asking you questions.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
all right, let's see what's up.
Yeah, I'm curious. So, where our standpoint from YSL has started out in 2020 to where we are now. Like, what are 3 things you can say, areas of improvement that you see in growth within the organization from 2020 to now?
Well, I mean, for me, it's just, I think part of it is just structure. Because I look at how the structure was started. Okay. And I look at a lot of organizations and how they run. And I always tell you, I say, well, Brandon, your company is great because your company is created on structure, and your company is created with, a type of fluency that allows the company to move and be creative. And I think that's important because I believe that's one of your initiatives or your values, with the company. So when I take a look at that and I'm like, wow, I see how that matches up, I think that's one. I also take a look at, the whole aspect with the company with growth. I like how you're not scared to grow. Some companies would just have like 1 or 2 initiatives in what they do. But YSL, we started off with one key initiative, which was entrepreneurship. But then as we grew, we realized that, oh wow, we still need to impact them in other ways. And you started coming up with more ways on we could do that. We looked at leadership, and we looked at doing community work, and we just looked at so many other things. I just think I like how you always change. Like I'll stay focused on like a couple key things, but that doesn't work. So you push me and keep me moving with that. So I like how you do that. And then one of the last key things is just the community work. I look at how we started just doing entrepreneurship stuff, and you wanted to do community work, and I told you, well, look, it's going to come, but let's just, wait a while. And then next thing I know, you out there doing the cleanup, and I was just like, okay, you know what? I got you. This is something, you want to do now. And I'm like, all right, so let me try to put that structure in place for you. You come up with the ideas, I'll come up with structure and program, and it matches that. So again, you push me again to do that, and I kind of like how you do that also. So I think at the beginning, it wasn't there, but then that's another key thing that YSL has when you managing it, I think that makes it work.
Okay, perfect. I do have another question. So, like, people
Yeah.
that's want to support our work, right? They might go to our website, see the work that we're doing, maybe willing to give. How do we get more of that buy-in for like donors and more people that want to support the work that we do?
Man, that's actually a good question, though. I mean, because I think some of the key things that people have to understand is just you got a lot of people who base donate money on basically like stories and emotions and their feelings. But I just think us as an organization, we have to be able to connect with those people. They have to understand that when we take a look at the economic disparity that's going throughout the community, that economic disparity is with entrepreneurship and financial literacy. You know, and we take a look at how these kids, they don't really have the proper finance. They can't really help their parents out the way they want to help their parents out. They're actually going to get a job making, you know, money that's not really going to help them really be able to move out of the city into other communities that they may not want to move into. I mean, but when we take a look at those things and we look at, you know, these kids that they don't have proper playgrounds in the communities, we take a look at the families that need more funding and finance in their families. It's such a disparity within the black community, man. You know, being able to have a program like this is something that's going to change the whole landscape of how communities are grown. You know, and for us to do that, I think it's going to be very impressive, but we do need people to donate. And when we take a look at these disparities, we need people to say, look, you know what? I need to go to Young Successful Leaders, inc.com, hit that donate tab, and I need them to just donate whatever their heart tells them to donate. You know, you know, it's not, of course we need people like that. You know, we need the community. We need different organizations. We need different partners. We need everybody to be able to see how we are truly trying to impact the community. And it's not nothing cookie cutter. I mean, this is something that's just straight organically grown. And it's something that's going to be here for the community to last. And for us to be able to have a community cafe type of aspect, meaning that, you know, we have different businesses that we actually give 30% of the money back to YSL's Community Youth Fund. And that Community Youth Fund does anything but it just fuels all of the programming with YSL. You know, so people have to understand when they donate funds to us, you know, 100% of that money goes back into our programming. And I think that's going to be one of the key things for YSL as we move forward and how we impact the community. And if we can take this and put this in different parts of our city in Baltimore, we also can do it in other states also. But here, we just got to make sure we take care of home first, but we need the people to help us do that. So I guess with that said, that's almost like a PSA or something,
Yeah.
you know, but with that said, they need to be able to go to Young Successful Leaders, inc.com, and you got to tell them, you got to tell them to hit donate, man, and put some money in the bank to help us take care of the kids, because the kids are our future. All kids survive off our love, and that's important. People got to understand that all kids survive off our love. They just need to be able to hit that donate tab to help us out, man.
Gotcha. Can you give us a little bit more about that when you talk about all our youth survive off our love? What does that mean?
Well, I mean, all kids survive off our love is going to be something that we trying to make sure everybody understands.
Okay.
It's because everybody has a job to do when it comes to developing the youth. Love is something that is unconditional. It's something that you don't have to pay for. It's something that, you know, the higher ups in the world, you know, in the heavens, you know, people from all of the different, you know, gospel organizations, they look at love and talk about how spiritually love is something that, you know, we really need to have. And for our kids to grow up, some of our kids and most of our kids, they really don't know what love really looks like, you know, and they don't really know what love really feels like, you know, but we want to create this institution, and we want our YSLI to be a company that actually shows them what love feels like and helps them have an experience. And through those experiences, they get to see, man, you know what, this is you know, they really taking care of me. They looking out for me. But we like, nah, bro, we just loving on you, man. Nah, my sister, we just loving on you, my sister. This is what love feel like, and we gonna be here for you from now, and we gonna be here for you for later. That's we want people to understand that. All kids survive off our love, but we want everybody to be able to do that. Some people can't do that. That's not their thing. That's okay. Then you just gotta go to the website, youngsuccessfulleadersinc.com, and they gotta just hit the donate tab and donate, because they still are giving love. Right. Their love is still different because they may not be able to give love that way, but they may be able to give love monetarily. You know, so it's just, a love just takes a whole different viewpoint on how we can handle an organization. So, and I think it's something that we should talk about. You know, love is something that everybody should have.
I agree. I definitely agree. I just had one final question as well. We talked about like the relationships, right? I'm thinking, can you talk to us about the family culture of YSL? What's that family culture like? What's the culture like of being a member and being a parent of YSL?
Well, I mean, it's funny because like YSL is split up into kind of like two things. So we have our community, but we have our internal community, which is the people that work in YSL. Then we have our external community, and that's people that, you know, we experience throughout the communities. Right. So it's really just about learning how to balance both of those. You know, as a parent, of course, my kids are a part of YSL. You know, and my kids are young, you know, so they're going to grow at YSL as YSL grows and changes. But they're also going to be able to experience the love that YSL has to give and how it has to nurture them and grow them. So I really think that when we talk about like relationships, I just want to make sure that I'm always focused on strengthening the YSL community internally and focus on strengthening the YS community externally. And if we can balance both of those and focus on both of those communities, I do believe that's how we can, you know, grow YSL as a whole. Yeah. Gotcha. That's a good question. I like that, man. I like that. It's just funny because, you know, normally when we do our stuff, we always start stuff off and then, you know, you end stuff. So, you know, you created a little tag and you do it, and I'm like, all right, he do that on everything. So I'm like, all right, you go ahead, give him your tag, man. Give him your tag.
Yeah. So YSL sign out.